Dr. P.R. Jayashree, Assistant Professor, Department of Statistics, Presidency College, Chennai. P.R. Jayashree has done her PhD from Anna University and MBA from Alagappa University. She passed joint CSIR, UGC, National Level Test for JRF and Eligibility Test for Lectureship in Mathematical Sciences. Has also done her postgraduate diploma in Computer Management. She has 17 years of experience in teaching and published 14 research papers in international and national level. Has presented, participated and organized conferences, workshops on SPSS and Torah software. She is a life member of Tamil Nadu Statistical Association and Indian Society for Probability and Statistics. At present, she is guiding 2 research students of Madras University.
Welcome to UGC lecture series on mathematical sciences. Today, we are going to deal about the hypothesis testing, and in that we are going to see about small sample test. In my previous lectures, I have already discussed about this procedure for hypothesis testing and about large sample test. So, the topics covered in my previous lectures are test for difference between 2 sample means, test for significance of population correlation coefficient and the sample correlation coefficient, and about 2 sample correlation coefficients of all large sample test. Today we are going to discuss about the inferential statistics and testing of hypothesis, how to carry about any test based on the inferential statistics, and the small sample test, test for single mean under small sample test, test for difference between 2 means, test for difference between 2 means, that is independent samples and dependent samples. So, we call this as the pair t-test, and the test for observed correlation coefficient, and some illustrations regarding all these tests. What is this t-test? Generally, any test or testing of hypothesis, what we deal is we are going to consider about the sample sizes. So, if the sample size is greater than 30, we generally call that as large sample test. If it is less than 30, we call that as the small sample test, and if you are dealing with any small sample test, we need to use this t-test. A t-test looks at the t-statistic, that is the sampling distribution always follows a t distribution, which the degree of freedom is n-1 for this t-test, and we are going to determine the probability of difference between the population and the sample. A t-test is any statistical hypothesis in which the test statistic follows student's t distribution. So, as I told you, this t-test follows t distribution, and the sampling distribution of the t-test is always the t distribution with n-1 or a corresponding degree of freedom under the null hypothesis. So, how to go about any test of hypothesis? The first step is to frame the null and alternative hypothesis, and based on the null and alternative hypothesis, we need to frame the test statistic, and from the test statistic we have to calculate the calculated value. Generally we calculate this from the test statistic, and we compare it with the table value corresponding to the sampling distribution. If we see our sampling distribution for any small sample test, we generally have the sampling distribution as t distribution. So, that is why we call the small sample test as t-test. So, we are going to compare this calculated value along with the table value, and we have to infer based on the null hypothesis. So, if the calculated value is less than the table value, accept the hypothesis, otherwise we have to reject the null hypothesis or do not accept the null hypothesis. So, first of all, we are going to see about the test for single mean. So, what is the purpose of this test? To test whether there is any significant difference between the sample mean and the population mean. That is, whether this sample has come really from that population or not. So, if xi is the sample observations of sample size n, we are going to test whether there is any significant difference between the population mean and the sample mean. Here the population mean we are going to denote it as mu naught. So, h will be, your null hypothesis will be mu is equal to mu naught against the alternative mu not equal to mu naught. So, if you have a test like this not equal to, then we call that as the two-tailed test. So, if you have a less than or greater than symbol in the an alternative hypothesis, we call that as the one-tailed test. So, here we are going to deal with the two-tailed test. So, either you can have a one-tailed test or two-tailed test in your alternative. So, you can test the single mean for a two-tailed test or a one-tailed test. So, but the thing is we are going to see the t distribution, that is the sampling distribution for this test is the t distribution with corresponding degree of freedom. So, what is the test statistic for this? So, always the test statistic is t distribution. So, the sampling distribution will be a t distribution with the corresponding degree of freedom. So, we generally find the mean of the x values, that is the observation, sample observation, and the formula for finding the mean of the sample observation xi will be summation of xi divided by n. So, we also need to find the standard deviations, because we need the standard deviation for this t test, and the standard deviation is given by summation of xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. So, we can generally calculate this because it is a very small sample. The sample size is less than 30, we can easily calculate this S value. So, if you see the t statistic here, t is nothing but t with n minus 1 degree of freedom is modulus of x bar minus mu divided by s by root n. So, as I told you, to frame the test statistic, what we have to do is whatever test we are going to carry out, that measure we have to write it here minus the expectation of x divided by the standard error. Expectation of x is unbiased with mu, so this is your population mean, and divided by standard error of the t distribution is s divided by root n. So, we will see an illustration for this. A random sample of size 21. So, if you look at the sample size here, it is only less than 30, therefore, we are going to carry out a small sample test. So, a random sample of size 21 has 50 as mean. So, generally we need to calculate this 50, but here it is already given. The sum of squares of the deviations taken from the mean is 120. So, here also you can see the sum of squares is already given to you. So, generally we need to calculate this xi minus x bar the whole square, but here it is given as sum of squares of the deviation directly to us. Can this sample be regarded as taken from the population having 55 as the mean? So, this is our population mean and this is our sample mean. So, we are going to see, we are going to test whether this sample has really come from this population or not. So, as I told you, the first step is to frame the null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. So, the null hypothesis here is mu is equal to 55 against the alternative mu not equal to 55. So, if you see here, this is a two-tailed test, and the test statistic here is t is equal to mod of x bar minus mu divided by s by root n, and this is the sample mean, and this is the population mean, which is expectation of x divided by the standard error of the sampling distribution, which is s by root n. So, if you see your s, which is nothing but summation of xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1, and talking about this s, and this capital S, you can also replace it by small s, where small s is summation of xi minus x bar the whole square divided by small n, whereas your capital S is summation of xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1. So, if you see, this capital S is always an unbiased estimate of your population standard deviation, whereas your small s is not an unbiased estimate. So, generally we will take, instead of small s, the capital S as the sample standard deviation. So, capital S is square root of summation xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1, which is nothing but square root of s. T statistic is, you have to find the x bar value minus your population value divided by the standard error. So, if I calculate this t value, it comes out to be 9.35, and the degree of freedom here is n minus 1, which is 21 minus 1, which is 20. And the corresponding table value, that is, you need to see the table t tables for this, for a two-tailed test at 5% level of significance. So, as I told you in my previous lectures, this level of significance we need to fix it. Either it can be a 5% level or it can be 1% or 10% level. This is the allowable error. Globally, what they have taken is, they have taken it to be 5% level. So, generally if it is not given, if it is not mentioned, then we need to take it as 5% level. So, the statistic t test value is 9.35, and we need to compare it with a table value at 5% level of significance. So, if you see the table value at 5% level of significance for 20 degree of freedom, it comes to be 1.725. So, the calculated value which we calculated from the test statistic, and we compare it with the table value 1.725, this comes to be a greater value. So, therefore, we need to reject the null hypothesis. So, that means we conclude that the sample has not come from the population with 55 as the mean. So, that means this sample has not come from the population with mean 55. So, the next test is we are going to test the difference between two means. So, first we have seen about a single mean where we have tested with the sample mean with the population mean, whether that sample has really come from that population or not. So, the purpose of this test is we are going to test between two sample means. So, the purpose of this test is if there is any significant difference between two independent samples. So, that is why I have mentioned here independence. This means that they are two different samples from the same population. So, first of all we will see there are two independent samples which come from the same population, and we are going to test whether any difference is there between these two samples or not. Suppose we have two independent samples xi and yj. Xi is I is equal to 1 to n1, yj j is equal to 1 to etc. n2, drawn from the same population, or it could be from two different population with the same mean. So, we are going to test whether do sample populations are equal or not, or the two sample means which come from the same population is equal or not. So, my null hypothesis will be mu1 is equal to mu2 against h1 mu1 not equal to mu2. So, as I told you, if you are dealing with a not equal to symbol, it is a two tail test, otherwise it is a one tail test. So, what is the test statistic for these two type of test? For this type of test, the test statistic is t is equal to x bar minus y bar. So, you can have your mean for the first sample, mean for the second sample divided by capital S into square root of 1 divided by n1 plus 1 by n2. So, this S is nothing but the combined standard deviation of my two samples, and this state as statistic follows a t distribution with n1 plus n2 minus 2 degree of freedom at 5% level of significance. So, as I told you, you need not have a 5%, you can very well have a 1% level or 10% level here. So, generally this is a small sample test. If you are having the samples, you can find the mean of the x as summation of xi divided by n1 and the mean of y as summation of yj divided by n2. And as I told you, S squared is the variance of the combined samples, that is your xi and yj, and it is given by summation of xi minus x bar the whole square plus summation yj minus y bar the whole square divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. So, this is nothing but my standard error. This is my standard deviation of the combined samples xi and yj. So, you need to find the standard deviation, combined standard deviation, you have to replace it here, and square root of 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2, and this is nothing but my standard error of this t distribution for testing two samples. Now, we will see an illustration. Two salesmen A and B are working in a certain district. From a sample survey conducted by the head office, the following results were obtained. State whether there is any significant difference in the average sales between the two salesmen. So, we are going to see whether there is any significant difference in the average sales between these two salesmen in a certain district. So, if you see here these two samples, that is the average sales by two different salesmen, they are independent salesmen, therefore, this is an independent samples. So, since the sample size, if you consider the sample size here, the number of sales is 10 and 18, which is less than 30, therefore, this is a small sample test. So, here you can see two salesmen A and B, and the number of sales they have done in a district is 10 and 18. The average sales, that is amount is 170 and 205, and their standard deviation is 20 and 25. So, we are going to test whether there is any significant difference in the average sales between these two salesmen. So, first of all we need to frame the null hypothesis, and the hypothesis here given is there is no significant difference in the average sales of the two salesmen. Against my alternative, there is difference in the average sales of two salesmen. So, generally if you frame the null and alternative, you need to mention the variable. So, I have seen in certain hypothesis testing, where they will mention is there is no significant difference between two salesmen. It should not be between two salesmen or between men and women or something like that. It should be the variable here which we are going to deal with, whether there is any significant difference or not. So, you should be very careful in dealing with the null hypothesis as well as with the alternative. So, the variable in which you are going to test, it should be mentioned in your hypothesis, null hypothesis, or in your alternative hypothesis. So, make sure about the variable which you are going to test. So, as I told you, whatever is given in the problem is x bar is given to you, that is the first salesman average sales is given to you as your x bar, the mean for the next sample is 205, n1 is 10 and n2 is 18. So, as I told you, what is the test statistic for this is mod of x bar minus y bar divided by s into square root of, and you can also have this as your combined standard deviation as your small capital S, and if you have this as square root of n1 n2 divided by n1 plus n2, and this I have mentioned is 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. So, if you take LCM, you will get as n1 n2 divided by n1 plus n2. So, this is similar to 1 by n1 plus 1 by n2. So, what you need to find is you have to find your S value, and S is nothing but n1 minus 1 S, and these two given, these two standard deviations separately it is given for us in our problem. So, therefore, you have to put your separate standard deviations here with n1 minus 1 and n2 minus 1 divided by n1 plus n2 minus 2. So, you can calculate directly your S like this. This is the combined standard deviation for the two samples, and we have obtained the capital S value to be 23.39. And if you see here, the degree of freedom here is n1 minus 1 plus n2 minus 1, which we are getting as n1 plus n2 minus 2, and this degree of freedom, how to mention this degree of freedom is we are having two sample means and we are estimating the two sample means, therefore, you have to reduce 1 degree of freedom for each of your mean values. So, that is why we are getting the degree of freedom as n1 minus 1 and n2 minus 1, therefore, the resulting degree of freedom will be n1 plus n2 minus 2, which is 26 degree of freedom. So, you need to find the table value of T, and from the T tables at 26 degree of freedom for 5% level of significance, and it comes out to be 2.056. So, how we have to infer this is we need to compare the table value along with the calculated value. So, what is the calculated value here? It is 23.39, and the table value here it is 2.056. So, if you compare these two, it is greater than the table value. So, we need to reject the null hypothesis. So, it is concluded that there is significant difference in the average sales of two salesmen. Now, we are going to deal with the dependent samples. So, as I already told you, we have dealt with the independent samples. Now, we are going to deal with the paired t-test, that is dependent samples. So, if the samples are dependent, so when these two samples will be dependent, only if your variable or the respondents we are going to take will be a single respondent, where you need to find the variables as two variables for the single respondent, then we will have a dependent sample. So, for example, if I have 30 students in my class, and if I want to test whether my teaching is effective or not. So, what I will do is before teaching I will conduct a test, I will take a score from the students, and after the test what I will do is I will take the scores from the students, and if you see the students will be the same, but I have taken the scores before and after. Therefore, my scores will be a dependent score. The respondents will be the same respondents, but the samples will be two different samples I will be dealing, and if I want to find any differences there between these samples, then we call that as a paired t-test. After my lecture, if the scores is greater than the first one, then I can say that my teaching is effective or not. So, the respondents will be the same here, whereas the scores will be different for two different times. So, we call that as a paired t-test. Suppose sampling is done by taking two samples n1 and n2 such that, so if you see here the size of the sample is n, that is pair of observations will be we are going to deal here, then the two samples are not independent, they are dependent samples and drawn from the same sample unit. So, as I told you, the respondents will be the same. So, the pair of observations will be obtained from two different samples. So, in order to test this one paired values, we always have the difference between the pairs and we denote it as di, which is nothing but xi minus ya. This is 0 means what? There is no difference. So, to frame the null hypothesis for this, we have H naught is mu1 is equal to mu2 against the alternative mu1 not equal to mu2. So, the test statistic here it is given as modulus of d, and d is nothing but my difference divided by the standard error. The standard will be the same because it is a t distribution, which is s divided by square root of n. Whereas, if you see my s, here it is not the xi values, here it is the di value, which is the difference between the two samples. So, di minus d bar the whole square divided by n minus 1, and if you see here this is nothing but the x minus expectation of x, whereas expectation of my di will be 0, therefore, I have d bar divided by s by root n, and d bar is nothing but summation of di by n. Thus, this is nothing but the difference of the pair of observations and divided by n. So, we will see an illustration for this. 12 persons were newly appointed in an electrical position in an office. Their performance was noted by giving a test and the means recorded out of 50. They were given 6 months training and again they were given a test and the marks were recorded out of 100. So, as I told you, if you see here before training and after training they have taken the scores out of 100. So, these are the scores before training and after training for an electrical position. So, as I told you, you have to frame the null hypothesis. H naught will be the employees will be benefited by the training, the employees are not benefited by the training. So, they were benefited means what? There is no difference. They were not benefited means there is no difference, and they are benefited means there is difference between the scores in the training. The test statistic t is equal to d bar divided by s by root n. So, if you see in this table, you have the employees and before training their scores and after training their scores. As I told you, you need to find the difference between the two scores, that is your xi and yj's. So, 50 minus 12, 42 minus 40 etc. you need to find the difference, and you need to find the d squared value for your s value. So, the d bar here is summation of all di divided by n, which comes to be 8, and s is, as I told you, you need to find the standard error for the differences, and the standard deviation for the difference is 4.885. For degree of freedom here is there are 12 employees, therefore n minus 1, and this is 11 degree of freedom. So, you have to find the table value, you need to find the calculated value. So, the calculated value here is 4.885 and the table value here is 2.20. So, if you compare this, the calculated values, they are greater than the table value. So, you need to reject your hypothesis. So, that means the employees are benefited by the training because the scores after training it is greater than the previous one. And if you see here, we are going to test whether the scores obtained after training is greater or not. Therefore, this test is a one-tailed test. So, for one-tailed test and for the corresponding degree of freedom, you need to see the table value. The next test for observed sample correlation coefficient. We are already dealt between the correlation coefficient test in the large sample also. Even for small samples, you can have a sample correlation coefficient test. That is, if the sample size is very less. So, here the H naught will be the population is uncorrelated, the population is correlated. So, where rho is the correlation coefficient and small r is nothing but the sample correlation coefficient. So, how to find sample small r is you need to take bivariate observations and you are going to find the correlation for that bivariate for the sample, and we call that as the small r, and we are going to see whether this small r as really comes from this population correlation coefficient. So, whether the population correlation coefficient, that means they are correlated or your population itself is correlated, that means your sample will be correlated here. The test statistic t is your model of r into square root of n minus 2 divided by square root of 1 minus r squared, and since it is a small sample test, otherwise it will become a z test here. Since this is a small sample test, we are having a t test and t distribution with n minus 2 degree of freedom. So, we will look into a illustration for this test. a random sample of 27 pairs. So, if you see here, we are going to take a bivariate observation because we are going to find the correlation between those two observations. So, 27 pairs of observation from a normal population gave a correlation coefficient. So, they have already found that there are 27 pairs of observation of x and y, and the correlation coefficient is found to be 0.6. Is this significant of correlation in the population? So, if you see here, n is nothing but your 27, which is a small sample test, and small r is 0.6, which is the sample correlation coefficient. So, what we are going to test? We are going to test whether the sample belongs to the uncorrelated population or not. So, whether this sample really comes from the correlated population or not. So, rho is equal to 0 means it is uncorrelated, rho not equal to 0, the sample do not belong to the uncorrelated population, and this is my alternative. So, the test statistic here is t is equal to modulus of r square root of n minus 2 divided by square root of 1 minus r squared, and if you substitute all this value, it comes to be 3.75. So, we have to find the corresponding table value from the t tables at 5% level of significance and n minus 2 degree of freedom, which is 25, and if you see here again we are getting the calculated value is greater than the table value. So, therefore, you need to reject your null hypothesis. So, the rejecting means what? The sample belongs to an uncorrelated population. So, what we have seen today is we have seen what we mean by the inferential statistics. So, under inferential statistic, inferential means we are estimated something and we are going to test on the estimated part. So, there are two divisions in inferential statistic. One is estimation, the other one is the testing part. After estimating, we need to test with the population value. So, that in that we have seen what is small sample test, and small sample means whether the sample size is greater than 30 or small less than 30 or not. So, we have dealt some of the small sample test, and generally the small sample test always follows a D distribution, that is a sampling distribution to be T distribution with a corresponding degree of freedom. In a small sample test, we have seen what is the test of single mean, test for difference between two means, paired t test, and test for observed sample correlation coefficient. All these tests follows the T distribution with the corresponding degree of freedom. And we have also dealt with some of the examples for all these types of test. So, now to test you, I am going to give you some questions based on the T test. So, if you see here, a random sample of 10 boys has the following IQs. So, these are the IQs of 10 boys, and if you see here, it is the small sample test because the sample size is less than 30. Do these data support the assumptions of a population IQ of 100? So, the IQ here it is 100, and we are going to test whether this population value is equivalent to the sample value or not. So, in my example, if you see here, I have already given you the mean value, standard deviation value. I have already calculated directly, I have given you the mean value and the standard deviation in my illustration. But whereas in this problem, if you see here, I have given you the sample values. So, what do you need to do? You have to find the mean of this one, you need to find the standard deviation of this samples. So, how to find the mean? Just add all this divided by the number of observation, you will get your mean. And if you want to find the standard deviation of this, what you need to do? You have to find summation xi minus x bar the whole square divided by n minus 1, which is an unbiased estimator of the population standard deviation. So, you need to find your mean, you need to find the standard deviation, and then put it in your T statistic to find your calculated value, find the table value at 9 degree of freedom for 5% level of significance, you can test this one. I have one more question also for you. For the given data at 5% level, whether two diets differ as regards to the effect on mean increase in height, weight. So, I have given you the table value, corresponding table value for to test. By giving diet x and giving diet y, the weights of the students are given to you here. So, what you need to do is you have to test whether the diet x, whether there is any difference in the weights between the students by giving diet x and diet y. So, this is a two sample test, and you need to test you have to find the calculated value. The corresponding table value I have already given you. So, just you need to test the table value along with the calculated value and make inference on it. Thank you.